Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has given us unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure or admire an old one. What will we find today? Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
Today is the first time my children will be able to vote in an election, and I'll have to say they're both very excited about it. As I pondered about the president, senators, and others we vote to send to represent us in Washington, D.C., I realized that they don't live in the state they represent. They have to live in Washington, D.C. at least part of the year in order to represent us back here in Florida. They aren't citizens of D.C., and when they vote in Congress, they're not supposed to vote the way they want to, because they're supposed to represent us and vote the way Floridians want them to, or at least the Floridians of their district. Everyone we send to Washington, D.C. from Florida might not be a Christian, but they're a lot like Christians in that they're representatives from another place. We are citizens of heaven and represent God to those here on earth. We aren't supposed to say and do whatever we please. Remembering we are representatives of God, even though our address is here on earth, we're supposed to do and say what He wants us to do. That concept is sprinkled throughout the Bible, especially in the New Testament. Jesus told us, "You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven." Instead of casting our vote in an assembly, we represent God by the way we act, and people are always watching. There's no downtime in this. Others should see Christ in every word and action. If I claim to be a Christian, people will form their opinion of Christianity, Christ, and God by what they see in me. This frightens me sometimes because I know I can't be a good representative of the Lord every moment of my life. That's why we need to be so connected with Christ that we know His mind and His heart in situations and can act accordingly. Sadly, our negative actions speak louder than our positive ones. And if our life doesn't match what we say, our words make no difference. Some people watch us out of curiosity, wondering what a Christian is like. If they don't see a difference between us and the world, they're liable to shrug their shoulders and discount the whole thing as unnecessary. Other people watch, just wanting to trip us up so that they can point out our flaws and the disconnect between our actions and our beliefs. Peter understood this and told us, "Beloved, I beg you, as sojourners and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lusts which war against the soul, having your conduct honorable among the Gentiles, that when they speak against you as evildoers, they may by your good works which they observe glorify God in the day of visitation." In Colossians 3:17, Paul says, "Whatever you do or say, do it as a representative of the Lord Jesus." Then he goes on to explain how to represent Christ in each of our relationships. As I read it, I'm going to add the phrase, "as a representative of Christ," to each, just for emphasis. He says, "Wives, as representatives of Christ, submit yourselves to your husbands. Husbands, as a representative of Christ, love your wives. Children, as a representative of Christ, obey your parents. Fathers, as a representative of Christ, don't aggravate your children. Slaves, as a representative of Christ, obey your earthly masters." That takes on a slightly different meaning when you think of it that way, doesn't it? In all our relationships, we are to represent Christ. 2 Corinthians 5:20 says, "We are ambassadors for Christ, as though God were pleading through us. We implore you on Christ's behalf, be reconciled to God." In every conversation, in every relationship, in every action, our lives should be saying this to a lost and dying world. Come to Christ. He loves you. Like I said, this is something we can't do on our own, and it involves a heart change to have a strong connection to Christ? How do you need God's help to be His representative to those you encounter today?
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. We'd love to hear the treasures God has given you through His Word. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you can find in the description below. Thank you for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.